Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. We do not so much need the help of our friends as the confidence of their help in need. Death is nothing to us, since when we are, death has not come, and when death has come, we are not. Of all the means to ensure happiness throughout the whole life, by far the most important is the acquisition of friends. The art of living well and the art of dying well are one. Not what we have, but what we enjoy, constitutes our abundance. He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. The just man is most free from disturbance, while the unjust is full of the utmost disturbance. Natural justice is a symbol or expression of usefulness, to prevent one person from harming or being harmed by another. In a philosophical dispute, he gains most who is defeated, since he learns most. It is better for you to be free of fear lying upon a pallet, than to have a golden couch and a rich table and be full of trouble. The misfortune of the wise is better than the prosperity of the fool. The wealth required by nature is limited and is easy to procure, but the wealth required by vain ideals extends to infinity. We should look for someone to eat and drink with before looking for something to eat and drink. Nothing is enough for the man to whom enough is too little. The man who is not puffed up in good times does not collapse in challenging times. The most important consequence of self-sufficiency is freedom. Let no one be slow to seek wisdom when he is young, nor weary in the search of it when he has grown old. Of the things which wisdom provides to make us entirely happy, much the greatest is the possession of friendship. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. When we say, that pleasure is the end and aim, we do not mean the pleasures of the prodigal or the pleasures of sensuality. We are born once and we die once, and the interval between these two events is called life. It is not so much our friends' help that helps us as the confident knowledge that they will help us. Empty is the word of that philosopher by which no human suffering is cured. If thou wilt make a man happy, add not unto his riches but take away from his desires. Injustice is not an evil in itself, but only in consequence of the fear which it excites. The time when most of you should withdraw into yourself is when you are forced to be in a crowd. There is no advantage to obtaining the protection of the body without also obtaining the protection of the soul. Do not marry after 40, because marriage is not provided by nature. He who has peace of mind disturbs neither himself nor another. We do not choose the pleasure but avoid the pain. The calm and disciplined mind is the strongest. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. A free life cannot acquire many possessions because this is not easy to do without servility to mobs or monarchs. Death does not concern us, because as long as we exist, death is not here. And when it does come, we no longer exist. The wealth of nature is both limited and easily obtainable, the wealth of empty fancies is limitless and hard to obtain. We must exercise ourselves in the things which bring happiness, since, if that be present, we have everything, and, if that be absent, all our actions are directed toward attaining it. We must laugh and philosophize at the same time, and do what we have to do with the greatest calm and the greatest folly. The just man is most free from disturbance, while the unjust is full of the utmost disturbance. It is better to be a beggar than to be ungrateful. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. It is impossible for someone to dispel his fears about the most important matters if he doesn't know the nature of the universe but still gives some credence to myths. Poverty, when measured by the law of nature, is great wealth. Limitless wealth, when not ruled by nature, is great poverty. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. You don't develop courage by being happy in your relationships every day. You develop it by surviving difficult times and challenging adversity. If you wish to make Pythocles wealthy, do not give him more money, but diminish his desires. When we are pained by diseases, we should not accuse the gods, but our own wickedness. Misfortune seldom intrudes upon the wise man. His greatest and highest interests are directed by reason throughout the course of life. Natural justice is a symbol or expression of usefulness, to prevent one person from harming or being harmed by another.